Writers, welcome back. Here we go. I am excited to connect with Sophia on the other side of the country. And if you caught Fion's episode earlier this season, I met today's guest the same way in that author support group. She is super talented, and I am honored to have her on the show. So, another shout out to Lisa Thomas for hosting that group and Stephanie Nietzsche for my intro to Lisa. But Sophia Alessandrini, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. It has been actually a while since I had the last interview with other authors, so I'm a little bit rusty.
I'm sure you'll do absolutely fine. I'm excited to kick off this show, and we're going to learn all about her book, of course, her writing tips for success, and so much more to provide value to you, the viewer who's on today. So thank you once again for joining Writing with Authors. My name is Vincent A. Lanci, and I am excited to keep this show going. If it's your first show with us, thank you for stopping by. Each show here, I sit down with a published writer of all forms to provide value to you in about 10 minutes or less. And this is for writers, readers, and everyone in between. This week, we're going to preview the book before bringing our guest on as usual, and it is called Legends of Astraea. Cupid's Arrow is the first book of this series. Can the power of love save the world? Yes, please hold that up. Yes. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, Legends of Astraea. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. Here we go. Can the power of love save the world? Allie, a gutsy girl who possesses a sharp wit and a playful, irreverent voice that pairs well with that of her best friends, a werewolf, embarks on a quest for revenge with the help of her psychotic, warmongering, and good-hearted legal guardian. She alone can open the gates of hell, just like Pandora did when she opened that jar that contained all evils. And evil wants those doors open, and fallen angels conspire to help her with Cupid's golden arrow. She finds herself in a whimsical world of myths, legends, glittering gowns, priceless jewels, life-threatening enemies, and eccentric immortals that call themselves Strzyga. However, there are side effects to this arrow. What's not to like about a gorgeous 200-year-old Strzyga prince who is totally and completely head over heels for her? But things never go as planned, do they? Will Allie manage to save the world, or will she accidentally open the gates of hell? Find out in the exciting pages of this book. But before we get to where to find this book, let's ask our author. Tell us more about this book.
Okay. Yes. Well, it's obviously my first published baby, but I have written for several years some other books that I was not that confident about these other books, but this one it just came in a dream. Actually, I dreamt the initial story, and I couldn't stop myself. And I think I wrote the entire first draft within probably a week, and I mean, it was morning, day, and night. It just went through, and I was channeling basically the story, and it was pretty amazing. So it's kind of dreamy, very whimsical. There's a lot of magical, but mostly like whimsical little theme, and it's all peppered all through the book. It's a very unusual plot. It's very epic. It's coming of age. It's a very young girl, 16-year-old, and it's pure fantasy. It's young adult, so it's YA, and I don't know. It's werewolves, vampires. There's also I don't want to spoil, but book 2 and 3 will have fairies and zombies. Okay. So,
were your first couple books that you did not publish, were they also fantasy, young adult, or were they a different genre?
I actually have about 9 books that I wrote. Probably the first one. I mean, and going through advice for writers or authors. Do not do what I did. I was so lacking of confidence that I thought, oh no, it's not ready. It's not ready. And I kept writing and writing. And I mean, literally, I was not ready ever. And probably the first book is ready to be bombed, destroyed, and probably written about 20 more times. But the following books got better and better until this, and then I kind of said enough about writing. I'm going to get an editor and see what the bad or good news were. And don't do that. Take it to your editor. The editor has the obligation to help you make it better.
Right.
So that's very important to know that you don't have to wait like me 9 books later to start. Be confident, and it wasn't until the editor told me that it was fine, that I just needed line edits and here and there a lot of buts and a lot of alsos and justs all over the place that I had to scratch. But I think all authors and all writers have gone through that kind of things.
Yeah. Well, while we're on this topic of giving advice to our audience, I'm going to ask you for if you have any more advice you can relay to our audience of writers today.
Absolutely. Actually, I have also my YouTube channel, and I do segments about outlining and about character development, and so I hope everybody likes the way I'm doing this.
Where can we find that YouTube channel? What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Sophia Alessandrini.
All right.
Simple.
Yes.
Sophia Alessandrini, and just write it, and it will show me right there with my photograph and everything, my page. So it's very simple. And but I have plenty of advice, very well put together, so people can actually get something else extra. But going back to the advice directly with you, so I don't go in loops.
It's no worries. I wanted to give you the opportunity to share your YouTube channel for everybody viewing on today. That way they can hop over there and check out some of your videos.
Thank you. I would advise to all writers and authors not to be too complacent about not reading. You need to read, especially if you are into your genre, read more of that. Bad or good or better. It doesn't matter what kind of books you read, but reading is essential for us to learn. And if you have a book that you really love, dissect it. Just go like chapter 1, chapter 2, and outline those chapters and apply those outlines to your own writing. And it's so important because that way, when you go to the editor doesn't, it has less work to do. Let me put it
exactly. Well, how many pages is this book that you published?
It's embarrassing. I'm one of those writers that overwrites.
Oh yeah.
So it's 500 and hold on. I think. Let's not count the stuff. 556.
That's incredible accomplishment. Congratulations on that. And that's great advice for everyone out there. If you have a large book, please get an editor. I mean, my first book, Left for Dead, is my biggest book. It is not that many pages. I mean, we condensed this down to about 200, but before edits, there were 70,000 words. I don't even know do you know how many words you must have had with that many pages?
196,000.
So there is something you do not want to cheap out on because there was a lot of words. I mean, I also had the buts, the justs. It was my first book. And as humans, it is impossible to be perfect. And I realized that every time I read the book, I could rewrite, change synonyms, this and that. But for those large books, great advice. Do get someone else to help you out. Now I have smaller books where I could have a support team and read, and my editors help me there. Where every project is different. I love the advice where to read similar books. For my kids' books, I picked up other best-selling kids' books to learn how they did it, pick up little tidbits and make it your own. I love that. So we talked about your past books. We talked about your current book. Did you always want to become an author, though? I could tell you have a love for writing, but did you always want to publish one?
I was between us here in confidence with the rest of the world, I was a chef to start with. But before that, I was one of those rebel kids. And I did the closest and the farthest possible career. So I went to school. I mean, as close as possible to law, because all my family was attorneys, lawyers, and I did not want to be a lawyer. So the closest thing, but farthest from that, was diplomacy. And in French is des affaires internationales. And so it was diplomacy basically, and it's journalist. I mean, it's a journalist type of career. And I was not really happy at the end. I was kind of like drained. Everything that is journalism is bad news. Usually you never look for good news, and I was drained. It's not my thing.
Right.
And so my parents decided to move to this little town in Mexico and to retire. And when I saw this place, I was in love. And I said, I don't care. I'm moving here and I'm going to open a restaurant. And 10 years later, I'm cooking, I'm attending the restaurant. I'm going like, what the hell am I doing? Why I keep thinking about dragons and I mean, I was reading books left and right, and I'm like, I can do better than these books. In my head, can do better than these books. And it was not until I sold the restaurants and I got rid of all that, and I took the sabbatical.
It's never too late to follow your dreams.
Exactly. And now, about 10 years later, here I am. So, but 10 years later of actually research, because your first book usually is never quite good, or I applaud those people that actually can do a very good job, but I was not there, and especially in the genre that I wanted to be. And so I was still not doing the emotions, the character development. I mean, it's a lot of components in the book, a lot of them, and people don't realize that.
Well, congratulations on the success in the first book. That is a huge accomplishment, over 100,000 words. Like, wow, way to go. And you have books 2 and 3 on the way. So now that we are connected, please do reach out to me when you're ready to publish. We'll bring you back on the show to help market those
Absolutely.
Books.
Thank you.
You talked about your YouTube channel, but please do share your contact info one more time and where we can find this book if you want to hold it up again one more time.
Absolutely. So it's Legends of Astraea by Sophia Alessandrini. And I have a book 1 and the book 2. They both are already out. The first one is Cupid's Arrow, and the second one is Cupid's Course. And I'm work in progress actually. It's book number 3, so it will be hopefully very soon out, and I will let you know, of course. And everything is right now for the time being only available on Amazon. And Amazon Kindle too.
Amazon Kindle. I mean, I had my book, as we're recording this, released 2 days ago, my new book, and Amazon, the way they are, the Amazon let out my ebook, and now the paperback all of a sudden has more formatting issues, and their new formatting changes have certainly been challenging, but I was accepted into Barnes & Noble Press. I've just been slow to uploading all of that. So everyone be on the lookout for her next book. Be on the lookout for my books if you enjoy mental health books. And I am Vincent A. Lanci, at Vincent A. Lanci on all social media and YouTube. If you enjoyed this interview, please do hit subscribe, because we have great interviews continuing to come. Sophia, I want to thank you for taking the time to join my writing series, Writing with Authors, and good luck with your book.
Thank you. And look for me on YouTube if you need advice for writers.
Absolutely. We will follow each other right back. Thank you so much again.
Have a kiss. Ciao.